Hi, welcome everybody back to the Travel Collective. And in this episode, we are going to meet Monique. So Monique is here. Monique Toonen is here to tell us about her business with HappiGuru and the retreats that she takes. So let's just start. Hi, Monique. Welcome to the Travel Collective.
Wow, thank you so much for having me, Cindy.
Yeah. And so let's just start with kind of how you got started with your business and the retreats and where that all came from. I know I've heard the story, but let's share that with our listeners.
Yes, of course. Well, I actually started with, I pivot my business. I started in 2009 already. My first business was sensational, but I rebranded it as HappiGuru International. Actually, just before COVID hit. And yeah, the plan was to offer retreats, and but my plan get kind of weird turn in my life, because in July in 2020, after a half year of COVID, which was suppressing the world, in my opinion, I got another hit. I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Oh.
And that wasn't what I was hoping for, as you can imagine.
Right.
And that was devastating in the matters of getting the diagnosis, but also losing my hair. I had long hair, and some people say when you lose your hair, you lose your identity. And that felt for me like this. And I came out a different person, of course. I mean, if you look death into the eye and you're like, well, I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it, because many women don't. That was for me a very spiritual awakening from things that I focused on, that weren't the right focus in that matter. And if you talk about energy, I really had to make decisions based on my energy. And for folks who are familiar with the chemo vacation, as I call it right now, because it's actually, you have to slow down whether you will like it or not.
Right.
There were a lot of, how do I say? I alchemized the things that were happening to me. And I was learning drastically, because I had to learn how to ask for help, first of all. I was like the strong woman, I can do it myself. And you have no choice during my chemo vacation to ask for help. And I had to make the decision, do I want to cook for myself, or do I clean my house? Mm-hmm. Well, you can imagine what kind of choice I made. Cooking for myself was more. So, and this is something I've learned, and this is also what I am offering in my retreats, of course, to look at your life and how do you make quality decisions, and what is the quality of your life? What do you really need? Right. And I made the decision in 2021, when I was, everything went through the happy flow, because as a coach, I now had to practice what you preach, right?
Right.
Because if you have like a negative mindset, and you're thinking you're gonna die, I have news for you. You are going to die. Right? Mm-hmm. So that being said, I mean, that I gained again confidence in my body, because I lost, of course, by this diagnosis, I lost the confidence in my body. And we always say the mind is in the head, but the mind is in in the heart, and the heart is in the body,
Mhm.
right? So the body is way more connected with the heart than the mind. It's all connected with each other, but it starts with the heart, because in the heart is the passion. And in 2021, I was declared clean. I was just operated in March, and I took in 2021 in April, I made a decision, a quality decision, to sell everything. My house, all my belongings. And that was a great decluttering process, because if you want to take the next step in your life, you need to make room first before you can receive or let anything in, right?
Mhm.
And I mean, the only thing I have right now is 37 kilos. That's my all my belongings. And I'm going to tell you, you don't need more.
Yeah.
You don't need more. And I like to make the association with the Melipona bee, which is a stingless bee here in Mexico, lives here in Mexico. And the Melipona bee is a bee that produces 8 to 9 liters honey a year,
Wow.
compared to a normal bee who produces 75 kilos. So that's 1/10 of the normal bees. But if you ever get a chance to taste Melipona honey, you know where I'm talking about. Because if you have one drop of the honey of the Melipona bee, it's like in one drop you taste 10 different flowers in this honey. It's so rich, it's so delicious. It's nothing compared to the normal honey. And this is something that I like to use as a symbol for your dream, for your happiness, because it's not about what you have, it's all about how you feel in life.
Right.
And we all know we cannot take our stuff with us, but we are so attached to it that we forget, and take the risk to step into your dream, to step into what really makes you happy.
Right.
And for me, it was traveling,
Yeah.
because I did this before. I did 7 or 8 international travels in one year. And every time when I come back at home, I was like, whoa, here I am at the same spot all the time, nothing new, right? I felt, well, I wasn't depressed, but I was like, well, I like to go to my next destination, right? And I think many people can relate. If you like to travel, you're like, and I was like, I want to make this my lifestyle.
Yeah. And I think you've answered my next question, which is, why do you want to share this? And it's, do you want to share what you found, right? I mean, I think that's really what you had to make, some tough decisions and to focus on your dream, right? To do what Monique wanted to do, right? And
absolutely.
And that wasn't, you took a risk, you had to take a step, and now you're feeling that, you feel good about that, and you want to share that with other people, right? And that's, I mean, that, I think you've really answered kind of why you do this with the retreats that you do, is to open that door, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is, I mean, going through this process and sharing this knowledge, I hope that people wake up, right? And like, oh, I'm wasting my time, or because life is too short.
It is.
You never know. And also because people say, wow, that's tough, you went through a tough time. And I'm not gonna lie, I mean, it wasn't easy, right?
Right.
But I alchemized it.
Right.
And what I mean by that, if I didn't have had the cancer, I wouldn't be here in Mexico right now,
Right.
right? So that is seeing the gift in something that happened to you instead of, sorry, not to you, but for you.
Right. Right.
That's how you alchemize life. Because if you dwell on the negativity, it will influence everything.
Right. And
And
not
then,
everybody has to have that huge negative thing that happens to them. You know, you don't have to have that, you don't have to have an
no,
illness, or you can just decide, you know what, I'm not going to wait for it. I'm
absolutely,
going to make that decision without it. I mean, we all know we can learn from each other. And I think
absolutely,
that's the gift that you're trying to share is, you know, this is something that you don't have to wait till you have a life altering moment in your life. You can actually make it
exactly.
happen, right?
Yeah, but I can imagine that you need help with that,
Yeah.
because I'm very that and that's one of my talents. I'm very good to make the intangible practical
Right.
and the tangible very simple,
Yeah.
right? And sometimes you need someone to show you the way,
Hmm.
right? Because for me it's easy, I went through it.
Hmm.
So I would recommend other people, if you really want to change your life for the better, I can help you to really organize your life and where you need to focus on. What kind of points you, I mean, the mistakes I made, you don't have to make, right? That's
Right.
why we like to learn from each other.
Right.
But for me, I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world. Uh,
Yeah.
and I'm, of course, I have sometimes like I miss my family, you know, but
Hmm.
and I'm happy to see them next year. But seeing different places over and over again is what makes my life exciting,
Right.
because travel was for me the biggest thing I wanted to do.
Hmm. And you got to make that decision. So let's ask what would you say to somebody who's kind of thinking about your retreat, but they're not sure? Let's talk about what you would tell somebody who's thinking about coming to visit one of your retreats.
Yeah, well, you know, a couple of questions. I think the first one is, how much do you attach to stuff? Because the more you attach to stuff, the more it holds you back from truly living your dream life.
Hmm.
The second one is, um, an abundance person knows that when you, um, they're not afraid of loss. You know, people think, well, then I'm losing with this and I'm losing that. But yeah, maybe you do, but you get something else that
Return.
for
Yeah.
in return.
Yeah.
And that's an abundance mindset. If you think, oh my God, but maybe I cannot buy this anymore, well, that's a lack mindset,
Hmm.
right? So if you really want to step into your dream life, yeah, you're going to a decoupling process, right?
Yeah.
And you learn from. I mean, I remember that when I start to prepare for my nomadic life, I had to make choices. What do I bring on
Right.
my journey, right? And I remember my whole bed was full of stuff. Oh, I want to bake this and I want to bake this, you know. And then I started to pack my suitcase. Well, and I was like, what am I thinking? I
That's not
thought
what I want.
I thought I'm going to bring a truck, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things is, one of the think about how you can use one item in multiple circumstances. That's how you learn to think,
Yeah.
right? So it's also about creativity.
Mhm.
And I mean, I understand maybe you don't want to change your life drastically as I did.
Right.
But I'm telling you, if you are a week under my wing, something is gonna rub off you, right?
Yeah. And
Right? Because you started to think differently about your life,
And
and
travel
then
does that, right? Because you step out of your
absolutely,
comfort zone. And so what a beautiful time
absolutely,
if you're needing to make a shift, go on a trip and then have some of these moments where you can pause and think about what's really important and what really matters. I see it happen
absolutely,
all the time.
yes,
And
yes.
these places and travel gives you space to do it. You don't have space in your daily life because you're running around doing the thing, and
Yes,
it can give you some room to make some decisions. I think
yes,
what a beautiful thing. And yours, the retreats that you have planned are in the beautiful Mexico and other beautiful places. So you're going to get to
yeah, and
see
we do
them.
some awesome activities. So it's not only work, but it's also about getting feedback on your attitude, on how you look at the world.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that how you live your life right now is totally wrong, but I just like to give you another perspective. And I know my perspective is not the average one,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I like to inspire people to make more of their life, or sometimes people are also make bold decisions,
Yeah.
right? And everything, if you give yourself the opportunity, because there is another life waiting for you, but you don't know the existence of it. You
Mhm.
don't know how to tap into it,
Right.
because you are the creator. If you're waiting from something external to happen, that's a lack mindset,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
You have to create it.
Yeah.
You have to create it. You have to make a decision. If you allowing yourself, giving yourself the permission to say, okay, I'm not happy right now. I like to do something different, but I don't know how and I don't know what. That's absolutely something I can help you with. I
That's a
mean,
perfect
I
place
have
to get going.
I have so many setbacks in life, and I've turned them around, and having those skills makes you untouchable, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Right. As you
Because
said.
yeah, I mean, I also have moments that I don't know what to do, or that
Mhm.
I'm like, wow, what's next, right? But I have skills, and
Right.
I know how to deal with it, and that gives you so much advantage if
Mhm.
you feel like no matter what life throws at me, I can handle it.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful.
that's
So what do you got
something.
planned for your business? What's next? Let's jump into that. Do you have new things coming up, some retreats or anything to share?
Yes, yes. Well, I'm giving myself a vacation this month, and I'm doing a lot of fun stuff. But my next retreat is coming up here in Mexico, in Playa del Carmen. We stay 7 days here in Playa del Carmen. We do some awesome activities, like we are going to visit this Mayan bee, this Malipona bee, to inspire you how quality lives look like.
Okay.
Um, we are going to do some journaling to see where this applicable on your life, right? And then on Wednesday we go swim with a whale shark, which is the souls of the ocean, in my opinion. We are going to do a ritual. It's a temazcal, and that's something that's the same as the mother womb. So you're, well, actually reborn
Mm.
after this session. It's to let go, but also to invite the new in you. And then the last day we are going to do spear fishing on triggerfish.
Oh, nice.
And this is something how you cope with when people trigger you. How do you cope with it. And those activities, of course, are the symbols in what I teach people.
What a beautiful...
And to give them some handles how to and create the skills how to handle this.
And to go back with a new, inspiration and new life, new things to do. Wonderful.
Absolutely.
It sounds amazing, Monique. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Well, thank you.
About what you do. I think it all sounds amazing and beautiful. So everybody, you can find more about Monique on the-travelcollective.com and on our Facebook page. So we'll see more of Monique. We'll talk about her retreats and other things soon. Thanks for joining us.
Okay.